not afraid to say that rejuvenation is the name of the game for many of us, and there are tons of names of procedures that are thrown around and new ones coming on stream. And so it's worth finding out what they're all about and what they do. So joining us this evening is Clarity Medspa's Linda Murphy. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
So this time, let's talk about microneedling. Sounds painful.
Sounds needly. Sounds needly.
Sounds painful.
Well, I'm confused because there's all kinds of different things that are called microneedling. So take us through.
Okay, so that's a challenge for us and a challenge for the listeners who are interested in microneedling because there are so many variations of microneedling. We have microneedling that you can do at home, little tiny roller kits, price ranges all over the map for these kits. Not a huge fan of them, and I'll tell you why. There's one or two that I think are safe, but most of them, big question mark. And then there's also microneedling, which people would know of called dermapen, and it's a derma stamping type action that would happen within a clinic environment or a med spa or a doctor's office. And then there's also microneedling with radio frequency. So that's the new buttered bun. That's the Big Mac right there. With
Is that what Christine had done?
Mm-hmm. That is what Christine had. And Christine, I could just let you run on about how much you love the procedure. And we've seen it with your before and afters, how impressive that was. That really excited us as well because it gave us the confidence to really recommend this treatment. And your results and those of so many of our clients are very consistent with microneedling when used with radio frequency.
Now, I wonder how many of our listeners, before we get going on this, and I'll talk about the procedure a little bit, but don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, so microneedling is, I'm going to speak to it in its broadest form. It's just what it says, tiny needles. So tiny needles breaking the barrier of the skin and reaching, and with the goal to reach deeper layers so that you'll have some sort of effect or change. When we work with microneedling with radio frequency, we are breaking the surface of the skin. So there's this fractional component. There's a radio frequency component because we work with the needles aren't just needles breaking the barrier. The needles also have radio frequency at the tip of the skin. Mm-hmm. So now that radio frequency is getting deep into the dermis. Your listeners will know of radio frequency. It's been around for a while. The problem is radio frequency can sit superficially in most cases. Now the needles are drawing that radio frequency, that heat, micro-injected deep into the dermis. And people will say, well, why do I want that?
Yeah, exactly.
And you want that because, A, you have the needles, which will deal with the texture. But when you can drive that heat deep into the dermis, you now are waking up collagen. You are waking up elastin. You can get acne scars to begin to fill because there's such a plumping effect. It's so impressive that you have acne scars that will plump out because of the building of collagen. And if you don't have acne scars and all you have are fine lines, if we can treat acne scars and large pores, you know we can address fine lines and wrinkles. So that the fine lines, it's quite impressive. People will also say, how do I choose dermastamp? Should I roll at home? Should I do radio frequency with RF, RF with microneedling? And we just step back and we just start asking questions. I'll say things like, what is it that you want to address? How old are you? Because your situation might be different. How much juice you need from your microneedling might change just based on age. It might be a downtime issue. Some microneedling has no downtime. No downtime usually means not a lot happened. And then as I move along the line of degrees of microneedling, there's a little more downtime. The peak of downtime is usually 2 days. That's the most downtime, depending on the degree of microneedling you're going for. And then, of course, you look at your budget. What do you want to allocate towards this problem? And we're working towards a very specific problem.
Is microneedling something that would be done several times a year, or do you set a course and that's kind of it?
If you're doing microneedling, let's say your problem is superficial, you're on the younger side, you've got some pores, you might have a few pigmentations, freckles that are not deep, you could do dermapen, and you could do it 2-3 times a year. Maybe even once a year combined with other treatments, but 2-3 times a year. If you've got acne scarring, if you've got deep wrinkles, and you've got loss of laxity in the neck, of course the protocol is going to change. You might do 3-4 treatments. It just depends.
Now, one thing that surprised me, I think most people don't particularly like needles. I don't care about them, but some people have a phobia about them, and they immediately think pain.
No.
And what was
No.
really surprising was that it is not painful.
We have you on tape saying, this is not a problem. Because at Clarity Medspa, we use a topical freezing, medical grade, because we have access to medical grade freezing. And that's one of the things when you, and it's a technique as well. So when you're using the right protocols, medical grade topical freezing, and your technique is good, you know when to increase penetration of needles, when to roll back, depending on whether you're working around the eyes, above the lips. It's just knowing what you're doing. The patient/client should be comfortable.
Well, I have the lowest pain threshold of anybody you'll ever
We
meet.
know.
We
know.
So if I say that it's not painful, it really isn't.
But what did you notice? What did you notice most about your skin afterwards?
I just felt that it was more, but I guess a little plumped up. It
was
wasn't
plumped
saggy.
up. Yeah. And the pictures showed that even around the chin and mouth area, the quality and the texture of your skin around the mouth, which is a big deal for women as we age, was quite an improvement.
I think what I noticed, and I didn't know that Christine had it done, was that her skin looked brighter.
Yes.
Just looked brighter.
Yes, because we're busting up bold pigmentation. So when you've got that perforation of those thousands of little needles, because that's what's eventually hitting your skin, you don't realize it. And they are so tiny. And with the freezing, you so don't feel it. That we're breaking up pigmentation. And when you break up pigmentation, the skin looks brighter because now the life of your skin can come through, that natural blood, healthy circulation. And so for us, we always, like at Clarity Medspa, we're always looking for where can we give you that natural effect that makes you look not tired, that makes you look vibrant. And microneedling is definitely one of those options.
Now, one of the great advantages is when you talk about downtime. So if somebody were to go in, let's say on Friday afternoon,
Yep.
by Saturday evening,
Yeah,
you
you
could
can go out.
probably put a little makeup on if there's some
You can.
like, sort of red spots
The
here or
first
there.
24 hours, we
Yeah.
just work with
Yeah.
sterile, and this is really important. If
Yeah.
even someone goes somewhere else, first 24 hours after microneedling, you need to use a sterile product on your skin. We work with hyaluronic acid. We know it's
Right.
sterile. We use Neocutis. We know it's clean and safe.
So my advice would be go and get it done. Plan that the next day would be your day to clean out your closets,
Yeah.
where nobody has to see you.
She's got our
Yeah,
life
yeah,
organized,
yes.
right?
And then Saturday night, put on
Little
some
makeup,
Put
yeah.
on a little makeup,
Yeah.
and out you go. And Bob's your uncle. You're done. It's
Absolutely.
great. And you're back at work Monday, and people are saying, "Wow,
Yeah,
she looks great."
On Monday, you look great, but it's 2 weeks after. The effects they're cumulative.
I know.
It's with that you'll see. It got better and better with time. I would say about 2 weeks out after the treatment is the peak of the result of that treatment. At that point, they're marching back into Clarity Medspa to see what next.
Can you give us a price range? Because I know people are going,
Okay,
just curious.
microneedling Dermapen can start at $250 per session. Our radio frequency microneedling, and we're very competitive, is at $650 per session. And combined with other treatments, then we've got packages that we put together as well. So that's a standard single price is $650, but at Clarity, we've always got packages that bring that price down.
Okay.
So tell people how they can get in touch with you.
They can go to claritymedspa.ca. Our phone number and our telephone number, or our phone number and our email are there. And our consultations, we're always open to meeting new people and discussing your skin wish list. So come on down.
All right. Linda Murphy, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is what she said. Stay with us.